prove Leviathan is real. And it's moving toward us. It started with a viral clip, one so terrifying that the internet exploded with theories. A man stood near the edge of a boat, pushing a shark back into the ocean. But what happened next? Nobody expected it. As soon as the shark hit the water, it turned fast, latching onto the man with brutal force. The ocean turned red in an instant. Some said it was just a freak accident. Others whispered a darker theory. Something is changing in the ocean. Because this was not an isolated event, fishermen have reported bizarre, aggressive behaviors from deep-sea creatures. Giant squid, normally elusive, have surfaced near boats. Deep-sea sonar has detected unusual movement, far larger than anything previously recorded. And now, leaked reports from a secret scientific experiment suggest something much more terrifying. We may have awakened something. The ocean is changing, and scientists know it. For the past few months, something strange has been happening in the deep sea. At first, it was subtle. Odd sonar readings, massive shadowy figures appearing at the ocean's deepest points. But then, the reports became more disturbing. January 12th, 2025. A research vessel off the Pacific coast reported seeing a dark shape the size of a submarine moving beneath their boat. February 3rd, 2025. Divers in the Gulf of Mexico surfaced in terror after encountering what they described as an enormous eye watching from the darkness. March 1st, 2025. A deep-sea drone vanished without a trace, moments after sending back blurry footage of something massive, alive, and moving. And then, a whistleblower came forward. A secret experiment, and a cover-up. A scientist, who remains anonymous for their safety, leaked classified documents detailing a highly controversial experiment conducted by a team of marine biologists and military researchers. The goal? To study and potentially control deep-sea megafauna. Using experimental sonar and frequency manipulation, they aimed to lure an unknown, massive sea creature to the surface. What they found was beyond their worst nightmares. The creature that escaped. During a deep-sea scan near the Mariana Trench, their equipment picked up anomalous movement, something impossibly large. At first, they assumed it was an undiscovered whale or a colossal squid. But then, it reacted. The creature, whatever it was, didn't just move. It responded. Before the researchers could cut the signal, the creature began to rise. In a frantic attempt to shut down the experiment, systems were overloaded, equipment short-circuited, and divers barely escaped with their lives. When the signal finally stopped, the creature disappeared back into the trench. The official report claimed nothing unusual happened, but the whistleblower's leaked footage tells a different story. A single grainy, horrifying frame captures something massive, coiled in the depths. Its enormous body covered in ancient armor-like scales. And now, this legendary sea monster may have been awakened. The Bible warned us about Leviathan. The Bible describes Leviathan as a colossal sea creature, nearly invincible, with the power to destroy ships and consume entire cities. Job 41. Colon 1-34 describes Leviathan like this. His scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. Out of his mouth go burning lights. Sparks of fire shoot out. When he raises himself up, even the mighty are terrified. For thousands of years, people assumed these descriptions were symbolic, a metaphor for chaos. But what if they weren't? What if Leviathan was always real? Ancient cultures across the world feared a deep-sea monster. The Babylonians spoke of Tiamat, a giant sea dragon. The Norse believed in Jörmungandr, the world serpent, which would rise to signal the end of days. The Hebrew Bible warns of Leviathan, the beast that even God had to tame. Could all these stories be referring to the same entity? And could it be waking up now? Why now? Are deep-sea creatures warning us? If Leviathan is real, why is it surfacing now? Over the past few years, strange deep-sea behavior has been on the rise. Colossal squid, once thought to be incredibly rare, are appearing more frequently. Oarfish, known as the harbingers of earthquakes, have been found near the surface in alarming numbers. Sharks are becoming more aggressive, possibly responding to something deeper in the ocean. Could it be that these creatures are fleeing from something even bigger? Could Leviathan's awakening be connected to the increase in natural disasters, earthquakes, and tsunamis? If ancient texts are right, Leviathan's rise could mean catastrophe is coming. The scientist who tried to warn us. The whistleblower scientist who leaked the classified experiment has disappeared. Before vanishing, they left behind a chilling message. We didn't discover Leviathan. We disturbed it. If what they claim is true, then Leviathan is not a myth. It's not a story. It's real. And it's coming back. Show eerie deep-sea footage, dark waters, strange movements in the depths. What if Leviathan is real? How big could it be? And what happens next? For centuries, Leviathan has been described as a monstrous sea creature, an entity so vast and powerful that it defies imagination. But what if it wasn't just a legend? What if Leviathan was a real creature lurking in the deepest trenches of our oceans? And more importantly, what happens if it resurfaces? How big could Leviathan be? If Leviathan existed, its size would be beyond anything known to science. Ancient texts suggest that it was so massive that entire ships could fit inside its mouth. To put this into perspective, the largest recorded blue whale is about 110 feet, 33 meters long. The megalodon, an extinct prehistoric shark, was estimated to be up to 60 feet, 18 meters long. Leviathan, according to biblical and mythological accounts, could be anywhere from 300 to 1,000 feet, 90 to 300 meters long. At this size, Leviathan wouldn't just be a sea creature, it would be an unstoppable force of nature. Its movements could trigger tsunamis, and its mere presence could disrupt entire ecosystems. What happens if Leviathan surfaces? If Leviathan rose from the ocean today, the world would descend into chaos. Coastal cities would be in danger. A creature of this size would displace enormous amounts of water just by moving, potentially triggering massive tidal waves. Cities like New York, Miami, and Los Angeles could be at risk of devastating floods. Military intervention would likely fail. Modern submarines and warships are designed for human-made threats, not a living fortress with armor-like scales. If Leviathan could survive in the extreme pressures of the deep sea, missiles and torpedoes might barely harm it. The economy would collapse. Global shipping routes would be paralyzed. Imagine a creature larger than an aircraft carrier roaming the seas, sinking vessels at will. Fisheries would be destroyed, as Leviathan would consume everything in its path, wiping out entire marine populations. Religious panic and mass hysteria. The Bible, Torah, and ancient texts all reference Leviathan. If it appeared, millions would see it as a sign of the end times. Chaos could erupt worldwide as people question if this is a scientific anomaly or a divine warning. The final question: is it already here? Recent deep-sea sonar scans have detected massive, unidentified moving objects, far larger than any known creature. Scientists have no explanation. Could it be that Leviathan never disappeared, but has simply been waiting? If so, then the biggest question isn't if it exists. The final question: is it already too late? For centuries, people have dismissed the stories of Leviathan as religious myths or ancient folklore. But science is starting to catch up. The ocean is still 80% unexplored. What else could be hiding down there? With increasing deep-sea disturbances, mysterious sonar readings, and an underground experiment gone terribly wrong, we have to ask, did humans wake up something we were never meant to find? And is Leviathan already on the move? Stay tuned, because this is just beginning.